If you're somehow not aware, I have been building over the past few months my very own custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2, Discovery Studios, and in the last few episodes we have been building the first themed area based on Formula 1, the hit motorsport racing series. And you know, we've built a massive dueling roller coaster that technically duels, but it does it with itself, so is it really dueling? I don't know. Quite a few different flat rides and even one ride that I've now removed. But I also teased a huge dark ride that was going to be one of the main rides here. And in today's episode, I have gone and built that entire dark ride, finished it off, and I'm going to show you what it's like on the inside, along with revealing what the next area is going to be. Yeah, there's a lot to go through this episode, so be sure to watch till the end so you don't miss anything, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's going to be many more episodes of this series to come, and I promise you the next few episodes, and well, hopefully all the episodes onwards from this point, won't take almost a month to release, because yeah, I know it's been a while since the last episode. I do apologise, but we're here now in episode 5 of Discovery Studios, and I would talk about the past month and what I've been doing. I don't need to right now, because as you can see, there's more important stuff happening on screen. The coaster / dark ride is going in. Now, you might be a bit confused why I've just said coaster / dark ride. You may be thinking, why? You said you were going to build a test track-esque dark ride. I am. This is just how I'm going to have to do it. If you don't know what Test Track is, it's at EPCOT at Walt Disney World. It's a car ride where you sit in this car, I think it's about a 6-seater car, and you go into these like scenes indoors where you like harshly accelerate and then harshly brake, and then you go around really quick corners where you're just like sliding around in your seat, and then you eventually go outside and go really, really fast, banking around the front of the actual building. And it's a really fun ride. I did the 3.0 version recently in Florida. It's good fun. But what I thought whilst riding it, and before I even went to Epcot, was, can you imagine a version of this ride if it was based on Formula 1? It would be so, so good with those harsh braking zones and the sort of fast acceleration and stuff. So I'm making that right here. And as you can see, the only way you can really do that in Planet Coaster is with this ride type model. The train's very similar to what Epcot Test Track has, just a little bit bigger. I think it's double the seats, but more capacity for me. But usually with those sort of dark rides that are in this game, you have to stick to a specific track speed, and you can't really make it stop and start super quick at times and then start really slowly other times. So I thought the best way to do it is using a coaster that we will hide the track under the ground and actually make look like a road, sort of like trackless dark ride type thing indoors. And then like that road, as I said, on the outdoors. It's going to be very, very fun. And it's so weird seeing me build this again right from the start, because obviously, speaking to you right now, I've actually finished this entire ride. I'm going to POV it very soon at the end of this video. So seeing it all in just track form with no theming is really, really funny. But yeah, that's your layout. You've got the start where you sort of take a swift right turn out of the station. You're going to stop and start in different places. There might even be a few pit stops here and there. And then you're going to have some sections where you're harshly accelerating, and then you're braking really heavily because of something in the way, or maybe something's happened up front, who knows. And then the ending is going to be that final speed down the straight into a bank turn, and then you're going to drop down a little bit into a tunnel. I've had so much fun building this. I said this in my previous series, and I've said it in this series. I don't like building dark rides that much, but this one, I really do love this. I think maybe because it's just an IP that I like, and I had loads of ideas for it. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. But you can see it going around the track there at varying speeds. I just think this was so much fun to make. And if I do say so myself, I think this would be better than Test Track at Epcot. But I didn't say that, okay? But I think just the idea of the Formula 1 cars going round, and as you can see, with that track being hidden now in most places on the indoor section that we're going to have, I feel like having it as a Formula 1 car going along this road would be so, so cool. But as you can see, I've made the actual layout itself. I've turned it a black colour scheme with the red trains. That's the colour of the Formula 1 car you're going to be in. And the whole story of this is basically what it says on the tin, a test track experience. So you're not going to be trying to go as fast as you possibly can, or trying to like beat the track record. No, none of that storyline. It's more going to be about your car's performance, and going around and you'll see like safety car lights, and again, things blocking the way, and pit lanes and all that stuff. and when you do exit out into the open, you're going to try and go as fast as you can, sure, but it's more about the car's performance, and eventually you'll rank that up, and then hopefully you'll be top of the leaderboard and your car performance will be the best. It's sort of just to test these cars out. The Q line as well is going to be very sort of, you know, just based on more of like a factory type setting than an actual racetrack, if that makes sense. And I'm really excited to show you what I have done inside this building. As you can see, it actually works really well when you hide the track. It actually looks like a trackless dark ride, which obviously isn't what I'm trying to go for with this because it's not trackless, but it does look like it is trackless, which is great, especially for future projects in this park, because yes, talking of the future, the next area is being revealed at the end of this episode, and it's probably the one area that I know everyone has been asking for, even the pigeon outside. Everyone's been asking for it, and I cannot wait to finally reveal it, because the idea I have for it, oh, I can't wait to show you guys, especially the fact that there's going to be another big dark ride in that area that I'll talk about, and a major coaster with one of the new coasters that's in the update, so I'm very excited to get into that. As you can see, I actually realised using that new update as well that you can actually conform pathways to terrain now, which makes this section here, when I'm painting it over, I completely change that soon, and I actually go over that with pathway because that's what I've done for the whole sort of racetrack area, even under the coaster over there. Might as well do that for this as well. It makes it look realistic, and putting some bridges in and stuff, because like I said, as much as it is a test track, it's not necessarily straying away from a racetrack setting, because obviously you're going to be testing a car on a racetrack. You're not just going to be driving it around British streets and on the cobbles and everything. No, you're going to be testing it out on a racetrack, so still got to get that setting, especially on the outside, really, really, I guess, nicely accurate to what it would be in real life and for the rest of the area. As you can see, got some green colouring of the metal corrugated walls for the warehouse that's in, trying to cover it up as best I can. And I would genuinely say this is my favourite dark ride I've built in this entire game, plus Planet Coaster 1. Of course, Planet Coaster 2, we've had the previous park where I built a few dark rides. I think this one wipes the floor with all of them. Just the concept and the idea of it. Maybe one in the future will beat that in this park, who knows. But I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. Even right now, it looks completely different, and I'm so weirded out seeing it not complete anymore because I'm so used to seeing the full completed product. But yeah, it's really, really cool to see the process again, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Here you go, there's that conforming pathway. Took a few tries to get right, but at the end of the day, with the track going underneath there, I actually ended up making it a little bit rougher than I thought I would have. I thought the track was actually quite smooth when I first rode it, but trying to update it to make it fit that conform pathway and stay underneath, I've actually made it a bit rougher, which I kind of like, because it would be a little bit rough out there, you know. You wouldn't be just travelling along very smooth. There's like some sections where it's like jittering a bit back and forth. I like that. I wanted that. It was kind of accidental, but it worked. So let's say it wasn't accidental. I mean, that section there almost had stairs on it. I didn't want that. But as you can see, it's running along, and you can't see the track anymore anywhere on the ride. And I think it looks awesome. I really do like how that has come out, especially with the outdoor section as well. I love the fact that towards the end, you're going to go up that little hill out of the tunnel and then make your way back out to where you've just sort of raced around and then do a slow turn back into the station. Because with the audio and everything that I've put on this, yes, I've put on-road audio, and you're going to hear that later on. I think it works really well for the ending of the ride. Yeah, there is so much to talk about with this park, and with what's coming next, with what has already been done, and of course with what I've been doing over the past month or so. As I've said, I was out in Florida, having an amazing time out there. It was so good. Of course, I'm still posting the vlogs from there. I posted a Hagrid's vlog the other day, foreshadowing to what's coming next in this park. I've just given it away. Oh well. But honestly, Florida was amazing. It was so cool to finally get on the likes of Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, even of course experiencing the entirety of Epic Universe. What a park that is. So much inspiration for that will come into this. This park is just so Epic Universe coded. It's unbelievable. I hadn't even been, and now I have. I feel like there's going to be even more inspiration. I mean, the central section has portals to other worlds. If that's not enough to tell you it's inspired from Epic Universe, I don't know what is. It's going to be a really cool park. And yeah, getting to experience Epic Universe wow, what a place that is. It's one of my favourite theme parks in the world. Needs more rides, of course, as does any theme park really, especially when it starts out. But I think it's great. I think it's absolutely amazing. And yeah, hopefully some of the sort of dark ride and themed aesthetics that you see in that park can be translated in a different way in this park. That's what I'm trying to go for. It's going to be quite a lot to do, but I'm so excited to do it all. And this F1 area is the start of that, because of course after this that new area is coming, going to be revealed at the end of this episode. I know I already said that and you're probably sick of me speaking already. I just can't wait to show you what that is. It's going to be so good. And that's the weird thing with this park compared to my last park, is because we're doing IPs and stuff like that and I've already got them in my head, I feel like I've just got a plan of what I want to do in those areas, so it comes out a lot better when we actually build them, such as the slightly dueling launch coaster that we've made in the F1 area. I still don't know what to call it. It's like, it duels with itself, but it's not a dueling you know what I mean. That coaster, I had a plan for it. I literally drew up a plan on my phone, so it was really like badly sketched out, and it turned out exactly how I planned it to, with even like the sort of dive into the pit lane and the sort of grandstand on the side. All of that was planned, and it's really cool to see it coming to life, especially with this test track ride as well. This was a big idea that's now coming to life. I did another layout of that and sort of tried to draw out what I think it could be like. It did change quite a bit, but it's come out really well. And as a roller coaster or theme park designer would do in real life, I've also concepted up the next 2 areas. Yes, the next 2, not just the next one, the other one after it as well. You're going to see that all come into fruition over the next 6 episodes, because of course we had the first 2 episodes of this series where we sort of, you know, just built the entrance area up and made that lovely plaza area. And then we started building this. It feels like so long ago, and it kind of was because I've left this episode so long, but I can promise you it won't be that long till the next one. We started building the F1 area for 3 episodes, this being the 3rd episode of it. And then we're going on to the next few in the next episode, and I can't wait to do that. I keep saying that, and I sincerely apologise. What is there to expect in this episode, of course? You've seen me building the inside of this dark ride. You can see some of the theming going in here. This is the sort of vibe you're going to see on certain areas of the dark ride. I do actually change it up quite a bit on the inside, and you'll see that later on. You're also going to see a huge tour of certain areas of the F1 theme land that you haven't seen yet, so that'll be really cool. I'm not going to POV the dueling coaster again, because I feel like I did that last time, and I want to save that just for a specific video that I'm going to post on the channel, because I feel like major coasters in this park, because there's only going to be maybe 5 or 6 major coasters, I want to post in a separate video with cinematics and actually like have the on-ride audio and everything like that, because I feel like the audio really does mean a lot in a ride or whatever you're making. So I feel like I want to try and perfect that before I release the actual full POV, and instead of me talking over it in these episodes, why not leave it till one later on? We'll still see it going around the area, of course, but we won't see it on ride just yet. So yeah, subscribe so you don't miss that in the future, because I might even do a couple other single videos where I go through and tour areas. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, subscribe so you don't miss that in the future. Back to the point at hand then. I feel like I've gone on a massive tangent of the same thing 3 times. As you can see, what is going on inside this ride then? You've seen me build some sort of like pit building with loads of like machinery around. That's sort of your testing facility buildings where you would actually see in like an F1 style factory or something. That's sort of based on that. Before this, and sort of in between sections, you will be racing around indoor sections of tracks, trying to get your car up to speed and sort of seeing what the track conditions are like. And I know I say racing, and I've talked about the fact this isn't a race or anything. It's just because you're going around at high speeds. That's what I mean. So at this point, where those animatronic cars are, the one that follows you around there and that also pops out at you, that will be a pit exit on your second pit stop in the ride. I'm actually going to write up a sign here where it says pit entry. That will be a very busy pit exit, as it will say on the actual audio on ride. And as you come out, you'll accelerate really fast and then have to harshly brake as those cars come out and sort of jump scare you in a way, but just sort of come out of nowhere. Again, Test Track does that. I remember towards the end of the sort of indoor section, you would have this lorry that would just come at you from nowhere. Wasn't really a jump scare to us because we got stuck on it for ages, so we could see the lorry for about 10 minutes straight just waiting to jump scare us, which is quite funny. But I wanted that sort of thing to come out in here, and as you can see, putting those tyres in and now the actual barriers. I did try and think about putting a fake sky in the background, but it just didn't work. I don't know, I just sort of didn't like the idea of having a fake indoor sky. I think, especially with how this game works with indoor stuff, wouldn't look right. So I decided to just leave it. Of course, if this was real life, I would do exactly what a lot of parks do. Like, you've got your Pirates of the Caribbean rides that all have this amazing, like, stormy sky on the inside, and you can't even tell that it's not nighttime because it's so realistic. I wish I could do something like that, but sadly, you can't in this game. There probably is a way, but it would be way too complicated. And yeah, putting in that pit box now, which you come to a stop at, and you're actually going to have a team member actually sort of, well, I can't do it in the game, but it would lift the car up, and you'd feel a little bit of motion, maybe like vibrating or something, and then he walks away with the actual sort of, it's called a jack, isn't it? Yes. And they walk away with the jack, and then you accelerate off, much like an actual F1 pit stop. So that's going on right here. And it was quite cool, actually, because the sci-fi sort of trooper pack, whatever those animatronics are, there's some alien ones, and there's also like some other ones too. The human one works really well as a pit crew. Like, for some reason, they've got like a helmet on, and of course they are human, so it doesn't look out of place. And there's sort of like a typing one, which as you can see I'm using here for the pit lane, which originally I was thinking that they would bring the tyres and put them on the car, but you are already going to have tyres on the car, so I thought there's no point in doing that. So we're actually going to have a few sparks flying off of them as if they've detached the tyre and put it back on, and then that jack at the front as well, which I struggled for so long to find what the actual thing was called. I thought it was just some sort of, I don't even know. I thought it was like some like forklift type thing that you would just pick people up in. I knew the piece. I could see it in my brain. There you go. The sack barrow, it's called. Nowhere near that what I was thinking. But as you can see, that's how I'm going to move them out of the way. You've just sort of got like a piece there that moves rotationally underneath, moves him away. And that'll be timed up with those triggers on the ride. Yeah, obviously dark rides are a lot more complicated than coasters, because instead of just building the ride and then putting some trees and stuff around it or theming, that's pretty much it. With dark rides you have to time the lighting, time everything like that. So it's been a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming, as you can tell by the fact there hasn't been a video for a month on this series. But yeah, I've really wanted to put full maximum effort in, and as much as I haven't said that there is a set time where episodes will come out, a month is way too long, so I do apologise for that. Of course, that is because I was out in Florida. I went to Portaventura shortly after as well. That was such a weird side quest going to that Intamin event. It was so cool though. Thank you to Intamin once again. There's a video coming about that soon. It was really cool to go behind the scenes on Uncharted and everything like that. Gave me a few ideas for this park as well. I'm always thinking about this park. It's always on my mind. But that's why there hasn't been an episode in so long. Plus the fact I just didn't want to rush this entire build. Of course, a dark ride, when you build one of them, you could build the layout, and if I were to say, guys, I have built the layout of the ride, and that's it, that's an episode done. No, that is not an episode, because a dark ride without the theming is just basically pointless. Whereas, of course, when you build a major coaster or you build a coaster without the theming, you can still POV it, you can still see it off-ride, and it has a similar vibe, just without the theming. A dark ride's whole point of it is to be well themed, so I just think releasing episodes with barely anything finished in here would be silly. So I decided to crack on for another week. So this would have been last week, this episode would have come out. I wanted to crack on and just design everything on the inside, finish it all up, and have it complete, ready for the next area, because now, like I said, we're ready for the next area. There is one section of the F1 land that isn't finished yet, and that is the one side that will back onto the new area, because like always, I like to leave that section just in case, because I know the next area is going to have a few warehouses in it and a few big plots of land that might even go into the F1 bit, so I need to make sure that I have sort of the space and haven't done anything where I would then regret building that and have to delete it all or move it around. There's just no point in having that hassle, so I might as well just leave it until we finish that next area. And yeah, so you'll see that all happen later down the line. Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on, and we're even starting the front entrance of the actual thing. That was good timing. I was literally about to talk about the front entrance of this. It's a bit different to what I was originally anticipating. I was more anticipating it was going to be, you know, some sort of factory-style entrance, but I came up with a really cool idea, very much inspired by Ferrari Land, upon my recent visit, of course, that I would build a front wing of an F1 car as the entrance archway type thing over the top, and then have this lovely F1 test track sign, which I know I often leave the actual sort of names for the rides up to you guys, which we do actually need to reveal quite a few different names of all the different rides in this area, including a restaurant that I've made. But this one I decided to purely just call F1 Test Track. I feel like that is just a nice name, especially because this is literally so inspired off of Test Track at EPCOT. I feel like calling it anything else would be silly, so calling it F1 Test Track or just F1 Test Track worked really, really well. And I make that sort of front wing a little bit bigger. You can see that with the art shapes. And behind that is where I put all of the factory theming. As you can see, taking it from the pit lane building over there. I don't think I've actually shown that yet. No, the pit lane building has been completed. Again, you won't see inside that or anything because that'll all be done when I release that separate video of the new coaster. And yeah, so that factory side of this is now going in. I just love the vibe that this is given, you know. You've got the racing aspect in this area. You've got something to do with the machinery, which is the Zamperla Nebulas. I called it a disco last time. I didn't mean to call it that. I know it's a Nebulas. I got that wrong. We've also got something based on what the cars do in the sort of way they work. You'll see what I mean later. And we've also got something based on the sort of championship with the trophy and everything. And now you've got this test track facility where we're testing the cars. There's like a wind tunnel in the queue line. There's loads of random stuff. It's going to be great. And the whole time on the ride, you'll hear it. Got like an audio spiel with this race engineer who's with you, very much taken from the F1 games, because I didn't really think of any way else I could do it other than me doing it, which I think would be really cringe. But that might have to happen at some point in the future. That would be really funny if that does happen, though. And as you can see, putting some pipes in, some smoke. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that building and on the outside that is very repetitive, so I didn't film it all. Again, I know a lot of you guys want to see the whole build process, but we would be here for about an hour talking over the same thing over and over again. Curbs, track, barriers, tyres. That's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Well, you've seen the pit lane sort of building inside as well. That gets repeated. Not the same, but quite a few times. That sort of theme, that vibe is repeated in there. And yeah, you'll see that come together in real time when we POV the thing, as we're going to go and do now. Yes, as you can see in front of us, the F1 themed area is pretty much complete, only with a few things here and there missing. And yeah, look at the entrance sign for one more time. There it is, the F1 logo spinning around, the two cars up there. Makes more sense now. There's still no red arrows in this area though. That doesn't really make sense. You get what we're going for though. As you can see, crossing the finish line, or the start line, as I guess we should call it, because we're starting the area. And here we are in the land of the Formula 1 themed area. I don't really know what to do with the back of the portal. I'm a bit clueless on what to do with that. But yeah, as you can see, the ride goes through that building in front. You've got tyres, you've got the barriers, everything like that. And that pit lane building that it goes through. Very much inspired from Silverstone, with just the pointy edged roofs and the F1 logo. And if we come round to this side over here, as you can see, the coaster going through the pit lane building again. You've got some seating. And over on our right, we have Pit Stop. This is set to be a restaurant in the area. Now, of course, I did actually have an eatery over on that side over there nearer the test track building, but I thought in this space here, it'd be nice to do a proper restaurant. So we're having Pit Stop, and that name was suggested by Ziegler _. Sorry if I got that wrong. I think that works really, really well. You've got more barriers left and right, the coaster off to your left, and the brand new test track style ride off to your right. You can see the train going past, or the car, I guess it's called. And over here is the F1 test track entrance, but we'll get onto that in just a moment, because we need to make our way over to the area with all the flat rides. And there is actually a flat ride over here that doesn't actually have a name yet, so if you have any suggestions for that, please do let me know. It's such a small ride, I think I even forgot to mention it last episode. But over here we have the Zamperla Nebulas, and I've decided to call that Powertrain, and that was suggested by Mr. Wenger FC 8049. Thank you for that name. If you don't know what a powertrain is, it's actually part of the F1 cars themselves, and it counts for everything such as like a power unit, drive shafts, gearbox, whatever that generates the power for the car and delivers it to the car on the road. And I feel like having like a machinery based thing like this, calling it powertrain definitely fitted that. So thank you for that name suggestion, and thank you for the suggestion of this ride over here as well, because originally it was just going to be themed again to engines and the sort of like process of that on the inside, but I thought, you know what? That's no fun. Why not have a ride themed to the actual cars spinning out? So a massive thank you to Pinkius Prime for the name suggestion of Spin Out. I really like that name purely because, as you can see, it is just flipping out and spinning out over there, and it looks like a ridiculously fun ride. So calling it something to do with an engine didn't really fit properly, so I think Spin Out is perfect for that. And as we cross under this bridge here as the coaster goes above us, I actually have a confession to make. I have destroyed a ride in this park already. Now, you may remember there was actually a junior coaster that I built behind this section here, and it was going to be themed to, I guess, some sort of hot lap, some like time trial thing. I just wasn't happy with the actual coaster itself. I contemplated on it for ages. I had a few rides on it on POV, and I just sort of thought, this coaster does nothing. It's literally just a launch and some turns, and that's pretty much it. So as much as I did have lots of space back there and the coaster did run quite a big layout along here, I've decided to remove it and instead put a junior coaster of a different kind elsewhere in the next area, because you can already sort of see me planning for that, but we'll get on to that. We're not done yet. So as we continue walking under the two coasters there, as you can see, they both cross over each other. That is lovely. We're going to make our way towards the entrance of this ride, not to go on it, but to show you the name. That being oversteer. Now, of course, if you don't know, oversteer is a thing that every single F1 driver will experience at some point in the F1 car. It's to do with the sensitivity of the front end of the car, so when a driver steers, there's understeer that happens when a car turns less than what the driver wants to turn, and then oversteer happens when the car turns more than it should have. And considering this ride literally drifts side to side and goes through turns and ends up facing different ways that it wasn't supposed to, I think oversteer is a fantastic name for this coaster in every way possible. So a massive thank you to DJ Stop Licked Official. Again, I'm awful at pronouncing names, I'm sorry. Thank you for that name suggestion, because that is awesome. Either way, it is now time to experience F1 Test Track. As you can see, this is the entrance. You've got the factory in the background with the huge front wing in the foreground. You've got like a car out the front. Around there, a little shop. The ride photos, everything like that. Although I have just realised I made the ride photos here link up to the coaster, not the test track ride. Whoopsie! You can literally see where the ride comes from over on the right hand side. You can see it running, going really fast past the actual barriers there. And those cars do actually come quite often. One's not going to come now, is it? There we go. Look, you can see it like rumbling along the road, and then of course it goes into that tunnel. Oh, I love the concept of this thing, and I really hope you guys enjoy the actual ride experience. As we head into the entrance, we're going to quickly jump over the queue. Can we... No, please! And you enter into this sort of lovely factory setting with loads of like pieces of the cars around, and as you can see, there's the wind tunnel there. You can see the car running along like so. You can occasionally see a bit of wind go over that car whilst it's running, and then you walk down here. As you can see, huge car spinning around. That's sort of like a model of the car you're about to experience this ride in. And then you head up into the station, a very simple station, not too much going on. And you're going to get on the F1 car as it goes round into the first scene. Here comes the next one. Let's get on. And I'm going to leave you with the audio on this one, so I hope you enjoy.
Okay, good to have you on board. I'm Jeff and I'll be your race engineer. Our system checks are A-OK, so we can get underway whenever you like. Take the first pit window. track conditions are bad, recommend you slow down and maintain a positive delta. Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can. Alright, we're getting very close to the crossover point now. Stay out if you have the pace, but as soon as you hit the limit, take the second pit window. The radar suggests that there'll be some traffic at the pit exit. It's going to be busy on the rejoin. No heroics into Sandoval, please. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
To be fair, sometimes you do get stuck here just stacking, which might be my fault. But there you go, that is the F1 Test Track Dark Ride. As you can see, the car comes back in, the exit opens, and we can get off. And as you can see, you walk above this very highly fenced off area, because otherwise you could just jump down onto the track. But yeah, you can look down onto where the coaster slash dark ride runs. I keep calling it a coaster because it has a very coaster-like sort of ending to it. But yeah, there you go. I'm so happy with how that came out. I think definitely the best dark ride I've made in this game. And just from the way it went from being a concept in my head to then me drawing it out and sort of like seeing what it is now, I think it might be one of my favorite things I've actually made in the game itself. I know I'm not amazing at building like indoor rides and stuff like that, but I'm proud of it. So I think that's all that matters. If we take one last overview look at the Formula 1 themed area, what an area this has been to start off this series. Not only do we have a really cool dueling-esque coaster at the front, but we also have that massive dark ride towards the right and those flat rides, with, depending on what the next area is like, even more space that could have something here. For a first area in this park, I love this, and it's going to get better and better from this point onwards, because now this portal and this chapter is closed. We're now going to move on to the next area, because as you can see, we have 5 pedestals and one is now complete here at the entrance. We have Formula 1. What's next? Well, back here in Studio 2, it seems like the Kronos is already charging up to reveal that next area.
As well as could be expected, didn't it?